Another day, another box coaching episode. We're at episode 47, I suppose. And we had a fun 3-game slate. As we always do, we talk about every game that happens every day. And we do it consistently. I give you my opinions. I ask you for your opinions. So once again, leave your comments down below and tell me what you thought about today's games. What were your takeaways? Some funniest memes you saw. Just send it to me. Yeah, you got my socials in description if you want to send me those memes. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content, daily NBA coverage. I'll be here every day covering everything that happens. That is somewhat important. And we start with the Cavs beating the Lakers at home. So let's obviously start on Cleveland's side, where the Cavs got Jared Allen back and he looked like prime Shaquille O'Neal out there in the first 2 quarters or so. He had 24 points, 11 rebounds on the night. Donovan Mitchell was sensational, put the Lakers away in that fourth quarter. He had 43 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, just 2 turnovers, and he was just killing. He was a killer today, and he's been so good with Cleveland. They've had a couple of rough losses during the last week, but at home they turn up almost every time. Their only loss at home came against the Timberwolves. That was without Donovan Mitchell, and in Darius Garland, like second or third game back. And they are just sensational. Evan Mobley 7 and 12. Lamar Stevens was also solid in his minutes. The bench is still an issue. They can't find real consistency of the bench. Kevin Love has not been good defensively, of course, and the offense has not been there since he returned from injury. Caris LeVert has not been good all year, except that 40-point game, and they need to get more of him, or they should probably trade him eventually if he continues this up till the trade deadline. Cherry Osman has been the most consistent guy probably, but today he was not to his best. And they are of course missing Dean Wade, who is out for 3 to 4 weeks, so that's a huge loss for the bench. But the Cavs are fine, the starting lineup is incredible, their defense is really solid, and they demolished the Lakers, who of course lost Anthony Davis throughout this game as he was experiencing flu-like symptoms. He had a degree of 101, they said, which I'm not actually really sure what it is for me, because, you know, we have different degrees here in Czech Republic. So I'm actually not sure what the fever is for me, but it sounds pretty high. And he probably shouldn't have played either way, right? And hopefully he's fine and it is just a flu symptom and he's gonna be fine in the next game. But he had to leave and he was not great during his 8 minutes he played, but it makes all kind of more sense when you hear that he was experiencing flu-like symptoms, right? So the Lakers were hanging in this game. They were fighting. They were playing some really solid basketball. It felt like they ran out of gas, maybe ran out of talent, and the more talented team just beating them in the end in the fourth quarter where the Cavs took off. The Lakers didn't have enough. LeBron had 21 and 17. He was not that efficient, and he had 3 turnovers, only 4 assists, and it didn't feel like he was appropriately aggressive enough. I also want to give the Cavs defense a lot of credit because they made sure that LeBron couldn't take over this game. I want to give them more props than just putting down LeBron. That's what I want to say, because I feel like the defense that the Cavs played was really sensational. Even though I believe LeBron was not as aggressive as he could have been, I also believe the defense was so good against him. Thomas Bryant off the bench is the real positive for the Lakers, as he had 19 points and 9 rebounds in his 28 minutes, which is a great thing. And if they're gonna get something like this from him, it's really solid. It's really good for them. Ras off the bench at 16, but didn't shoot the ball efficiently, and it wasn't like his best performance, I feel like. Dennis Schroeder had also 16. He's getting more into shape, more into the basketball, shape, or however you want to say it. He was not great, but it's, they are showing signs of improvement. Patrick Beverley, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what is going on with Pat Bev. His defense is still solid, but the shooting is just incredibly bad. All-time bad, man. I don't know what happened to him. And yeah, tough loss for the Lakers, but they'll be fine when AD is back eventually next game or the game after that. Then we move on to Miami as the Heat continue to struggle. Yeah. the Heat continue to struggle really bad, and the Pistons took advantage of that. And as I've said, they've been really better lately. These last 2 weeks, it feels like they've been in a lot more games. They've been playing some solid basketball, even without Kate, and on some nights without Jaden Ivey, on some nights without their bench guys. They've been really much more solid lately. And today, everyone played a really good game. Marvin Bagley wasn't good, but everyone else than him was really sensational. The bench was incredible. Alec Burks is getting back into his ways. He's a certified bucket getter, 18 and 9 off the bench. Sadiq Bey, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. He's been solid since he returned from injury off the bench. Corey Joseph had his best game of the season, it felt like. He had 11 and 5. Jalen Duren had 4 and 4. Kevin Knox had 7 points. And just a sensational performance off the bench. And then you had Bojan Bogdanovic, who couldn't miss, and he had 31 points on 16 shots. He made 12 of them, 7 on threes, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. And we all know he's a great player, and especially for his contract, his role, and he's continuing to show that. I just hope that Kate can get healthy and we can see what this team can do. Probably next year, right? Because this year is already somewhere lost. But I believe next year they could really be something better with the experience, with if Kate is healthy, with Bojan Bogdanovic, maybe some other vets. I just really like a lot of these players on Detroit. With Miami, Jimmy Butler was out, as he didn't play a back-to-back because the knee injury, and he has to get more back into rhythm and fitness. But the role players have been bad. Pretty much everyone other than Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero were bad today and have been bad this year. Not all year, but the last 3 weeks or so. It feels like nobody is playing good. Max Strus started this season off so hot and has been really bad, really bad these last 2-3 weeks. Caleb Martin is inconsistent. And Kyle Lowry is still inconsistent. He's been much better this year overall, but he is still inconsistent shooting-wise. And then you have the rookie Nikola Jokic, who's solid, but he's a rookie. You can't get that much from him. Then you have Haywood Naismith, who's another guy who just from the Heat culture system, where they get undrafted guys or guys that are under the radar for him, and he's inconsistent. Victor Oladipo, his first game this year, I feel like, and inconsistent. He has to get back into shape. Duncan Robinson can't play defense, isn't shooting the ball as well then, doesn't get enough minutes. Then you have Udonis Haslem contract, who does not play. Drew Smith, who is another guy that you don't want to play. And the formula has been working a lot, but it kind of feels like it has ran its course, right? They needed this win, even after yesterday's loss against the Grizzlies, when the Grizzlies were without their 3 best players. Even without Jimmy Butler, it feels like they need to win against Detroit at home on a back-to-back, and they didn't. They just didn't. And I don't know if this will be fixed, because you're relying on players who exceeded their expectations a lot of the times already and might be falling down back to earth. And it's a weird situation, because I don't know where the Heat go from here. And they will be fine with Jimmy Butler, and I believe they will still make the playoffs. They will be still over 500, but let me know your thoughts about this Miami situation. What would you do to fix it, man? Because I'm really lost with Miami here, man. And last but not least, we head to Denver, where the Nuggets lose at home against the Mavs. And the Western Conference keeps getting more and more, confusing, as all the teams are around the 3 games back, which is not a whole lot. Everyone is kinda just there. And nobody has separated yet, and it's weird. It's really weird this year here in the Western Conference. The Mavs get a great win on the road, back-to-back night. Luka struggles from the field. Still get a win. Great stuff from them. They've been a lot better after those embarrassing loss in Detroit. Tim Hardaway continues his hot streak, as he's been great after the loss against Detroit. He had 29.6 threes. He's been shooting the lights out. Dorian Finney-Smith finding his range. He had 19 points. He hit 5-3. He hit the game-winning 3-pointer. And game-winning, game-sealing, essentially. Then, you have Dwight Powell, who's been solid for him. Spencer Dinwiddie, even though he's not been as great as he started the year, he's still been really solid. Luka had 22, 10, and 12, the triple-double. And he still made 4 of 9 threes, which is great, obviously. He's been making a lot more threes lately. Josh Green struggled from the field, but I still love his energy and his effort. Christian Wood was great today. Shout out to him. I love the pass in that fourth quarter where he passed it to Kleber, who had 9 points himself, and gave him the chance to. It really showed me that he can actually even play make, and he is not just a simple ISO scorer, because I've not seen that much. And they're playing just 40 minutes of Reggie Bullock, which is great, right? You still hate that JaVale McGee contract, but what can you do? You gotta take your losses there, I suppose, or hope that he becomes playable eventually. And for Denver, it's a rough loss, still without Michael Porter Jr. Jokic was okay-ish, 19, 8, and 8. The Denver team is weird to me. They're playing some solid offense, but Jokic is kinda feels passive too much at times. They were defending him pretty well with double teams and everything. I give him that, but it's been weird. Jamal Murray couldn't hit anything. He had 11 and 5, and he was not great today. KCP had 12. He was okay. Aaron Gordon had 27 and 8, but the defense from him doesn't look as good as it has been last year, which in and of itself wasn't as great, but it feels worse to me. Shout out Bruce Brown, he hit those 2 clutch threes in the third quarter, but he wasn't great himself otherwise this game. You got Bones Highland, who, even though he's a spark plug, he can make a lot of buckets. He gives so much on the other hand also, and on the other side also, so I don't know what to think about Bones Highland. I like the guy a lot. I really like him a lot because the story is great. He seems like a cool dude, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know if you can rely on him for 30 minutes. You would need him to improve a little bit defensively at least to be the Jordan Clarkson type. I feel like, even though he is obviously the Jordan Clarkson type, but to have that impact really. But today he was pretty solid. 20 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, brought the energy there, which is what he's there for. Just a rough loss for the Nuggets, man. And that about does it for today. I would love it if there were more games on these Tuesdays, and they would have us on our sleeve. We got the Clippers, and Paul George and Kawhi both should play. You got the Nets, you got KD, you got Kyrie. That should be fun nonetheless. Hawks and Knicks, those games are always fun, especially with the Hawks struggling. Lakers, Raptors, we'll see if AD plays. Wizards, Bulls could be a fun one also. Thunder, Grizzlies, Kings, Bucks, Pacers, T-Wolves, Pels, Pistons, Warriors, Jazz, Celtics, Suns. A lot of good games, man. Celtics, Suns is a good one. The Warriors will be without Steph, Wiggins, and Draymond Green. They got James Wiseman back recalled from the G League, so that's gonna be a weird game for me as a fan. I hope Clay and Poole go for 100 points together and we win this game, but I'm not hopeful at this exact time. T-Wolves Pacers should be a good one. I'm willing to watch that a lot. And Bucks Kings, a lot of good games, man, and I'll be here to cover them all, of course. Let me know your thoughts, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you all tomorrow.